साथ काम करेंगे सेट हो जाएगी अपनी ज़िंदगी रॉकेट कुछ बात करें तो बाद में चले तो
Indian culture, with all its beauty and diversity, attracts a lot of people from all over the world, including artists and filmmakers. But there are very few people who would want to delve deep into the Indian culture, make a film on us, and in our own language. But here we are not talking about just any director. His third feature film earned him a nomination in Oscars, and it was the first Iranian film to go to Oscars. Hi, this is Zenia from HT Desi Martini, and today we are pleased to have with us Majid Majidi and the cast of Beyond the Clouds, Ishaan, Khattar and Malvika. Hi guys, welcome to Desi Martini. My first question would be to you, sir. So, what are the aspects of Indian cinema that you love the most?
No, I would say more. I love Indian culture, but of course cinema as well. It's a part of that culture. You know, I like that part of Indian cinema which is considered about humanity, about human beings. I mentioned in different times cinema of Satyajit Ray or Shyam Bengal. You know, those parts who are talking about people, those parts that unfortunately you see that rarely in their recent films.
So, is there somebody, any Indian or Indian people that you have met who inspired you to make a film on India?
You know, as I said before, from my youth, I was interested in the cinema of Satyajit Ray. I came to know India through his cinema. So, and since then, I was thinking always, if one day, I want to make a film out of my country, it would be India. Of course, for our common cultural aspects. And then, in different trips that I had for different festivals here in India, I met different producers who were always, offering me to work here. Since the day that Nama Pictures, we met each other, and they were following me since years. And their support and the way they were trying, I can say it was a big positive point for me to finally decide and come here to make this film.
Okay. Ishaan and Malvika, Ishaan, this is your debut film, Malvika, it would be your Hindi debut. So, and you got to work with Majid Majidi, who isn't a Bollywood director per se, he's a world director, world cinema. So, did you feel anxious? What went through your mind when you came to know that you would be working with him?
Well, he's in my opinion, he's one of the best in the world today. And as an actor, you always want to work with good directors. They bring out the best in your craft. So when this happened, for me, it was as good and as big as it gets. And the thing is, when you're working with somebody like him, there's this strong sense of security because you can just submit to him as an actor, and you know that he will just take you from there. He will just take you. He just took us on this journey, and I think there's a strong sense of security. There is a lot of excitement. There was a lot of excitement to think that he would be directing me, and I would be a part of his film. So a lot of excitement, and yeah.
Well, I would say that before this opportunity came to me, I was not only familiar, but I greatly admired his work. And so, of course, I knew, the value that came with being an actor in a Majid Majidi film and what that meant to me. But after having met him, I think if there was any hint of anxiety or anything, it's not in my nature as a person to be anxious, but it's his energy that was the predominant one on set, and his aura and his energy is such that it doesn't invite anxiety. In fact, it was quite the opposite. It was all our energies were directed towards making this film happen in the best manner that we could, and so I don't think there were any such feelings on set at all. It was in fact a feeling of, there was a lot of faith that I had in him, and I really did feel as if I could just ride on his wings. So, and the way he is as a person, when you get to know him a little better, it's very comforting. He's a very affectionate person, despite the fact that sometimes on set he can be very curt and very strong, but that's to get the job done. And so it was just fairly exciting to be on a set every day because there were discoveries happening every day, and it was a wonderful work environment. There was no anxiety.
We have heard that your first meeting with Majidi sir was very interesting. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, yeah. It was very brief.
Okay.
I was asked to meet with him on this particular day, and I arrived at this office. At the time, it was called Eye Candy. Now it's Nama Pictures, and I think I made quite a loud entry. And there was one of the representatives who came from inside the office, and she said, "Shh, Mr. Majidi's inside." and I remember kind of really sinking in this atmosphere. And I walked into the room, and there he was, and he has this aura about him. He doesn't say much. He's a man of a few words, but when he does, it's very impactful. And he asked me the most basic of questions. They weren't even all directly related to the film. He said, "Oh, so you like to exercise?" And I said yes, because I was in clothes from a
Gym clothes.
Yeah, I was just exercising before that. And then he said, "Can you ride a motorbike?" Because that was essential for his character. I said, "I could, sir, if it's required of me." And he said, "Okay, good." And then he said, "You may leave now." And it was that short. And he had a discussion with Hani Trehan sir. And they called me back in, and he's asked me a couple more questions. And he said, "Oh, we'd like to do this shoot with you," which is basically the audition for the film. But it was a very interesting procedure because he allowed me to go out to live locations and shoot footage on camera phones and sort of make the character my own and present to him what ideas I had with it. And so we did that, and on the basis of that was the first meeting we had. And it was after the first meeting, the next day, after seeing the footage, that he said, "Finalize that."
Oh, so Majid Majidi sir comes across as a man of few words, as you said. He's very serious and somber.
Not always.
Yeah. So was the environment on sets like that, or did you have?
Not at all. Not
So
at all.
how was it? Like, what some light-hearted moments that you shared? Something very memorable.
Yeah, there were a few. I've bothered him a fair bit on this film. I think there were instances where he was like, "Why did I cast this boy?" But the nature of the scenes that we were filming most often was such that they required all our energy. So we were all very immersed in our work. But it wasn't because of his nature that we were all serious. It's just he's not a serious person. He's very serious about his work, and he's very devoted to it. So I think it came from that, rather than just being in a very drab or serious environment all the time just for the sake of it. It's just nothing of the sort. He's a man of, it may not come across at first when you meet him, but he has a very soft nature. He's a family person, and he's very affectionate. But that's him personally. When he's on the job, he's a don. He's on his toes, and he's got to get this work done, and he's very powerful. So yeah, it was a very robust work environment. We had to get the day's work done and do it the best we could, and he was stern when he had to be, and he was relaxed and soft and easy
when the work was going well. So Malvika, you look very beautiful today, but we have heard that you didn't wash your hair for 10 days, and what preparations did you do, and what did you go through for your character, Tara?
Well, as an actor, I think it's a very, very crucial part. Like the physical appearance of your character is a very crucial part of your job. And I think personally, every actor should take responsibility for it as well. It's not just the costume or the makeup people. As an actor, you need to be aware about even the physical appearance intricacies of what your character should have. So when I did the look test before I was cast, Hani Trehan sir did this very interesting thing where he didn't tell me what to wear, or he didn't tell me how to dress. He just told me about the character. He's like, "This is the girl, this is what she does, this is where she comes from, this is what she's been through. Now you interpret the character and you decide how she would dress, you know. And I kept asking him, but he didn't give any details. He was like, why don't you do it? You know, I want to see what you come up with, and if there are any changes, I'll tell you what to do or what not to do. So I went home, I thought about it for a while, and I came up with, you know, like from the color she would wear to the kind of nose pin she would wear to how she would tie her hair. I mean, she works as a dhoban and dhobi guard, so she wouldn't leave her hair open, it would be tight. So, you know, so I worked on the physical aspects, which I had a lot of fun doing because, like I said, it's every actor's responsibility how you look as the character. So yeah, a lot of physical prep went into it. I had to lose a lot of weight, which was not easy. I had to, and not lose weight to look for anything else, but just to look malnourished and look like she's a little, you know, like she's going through an emotional phase, which is not good. So it was crucial for the script, for the character. And yeah, I mean, for a certain sequence, I didn't wash my hair. My hair tends to look very silky when it's just washed. So it had to look rugged, it had to look like she's not taking care of herself. So yeah, I didn't wash it, which was very convenient because I get bored washing my hair anyway. But yeah, it was essential for the film.
Okay, so Majidi sir, you know, you have been in India for a long time now. So 3 Hindi words that you have learned in this course of your stay.
Ishaan, Malvika.
No,
Doesn't count, sir.
no proper nouns, yeah.
My name is a Sanskrit word, so he also knows that.
چلو خب آخه ما زندگی محبت یعنی اینا جزو چیزای ماست ولی از اسم چاپال خیلی خوشم میاد چاپل
Chappal. Udte hue chappal.
There are lots of words. There's lots of words, you know. Like he says, shaks, you know, nigah, zindagi, durbeen. In fact, they call the camera durbeen, which is very interesting because for us it means binoculars, and actors are called bazigar.
Wow.
By the way. So yeah, हमारी ज़बान में you know what bazigar means.
And 3 Parsi words that you learned.
Well, I can give some. You want to start?
Salam. Kheli khube. Kheli khube. I still can't do the kh. But yeah, kheli khube. And yeah, I mean, words which are common. Ishq. Yeah. I need to learn more.
Mohabbat.
No, they also say ishq.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's like she said, Khaili Khube is one we've heard so often. It almost sounds like. And then there's
What does it mean? What does it
It
mean?
means very good.
Very
Oh,
good.
And you know, if you want Persian words and not the Urdu words that are similar, there's Fardo, which means tomorrow, and then there is well, Khuda Hafiz we say in Urdu. Yes. What else is there? Ishaan. I can say an English word. It sounds like Parsi, very bad. There's a few, you know, they come to mind. It rings a bell when you hear them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you looking forward to working more in world cinema?
Looking forward to working more in all kinds of cinema.
Okay.
With all kinds of amazing artists. And not just directors and actors, but my father's a cinematographer. And I always feel that, you know, actors and directors always walk away with the most amount of accolades and you know, critical acclaim and all of that, but people who are behind the camera are not spoken about enough, from the editor to the sound recordist to the
Now they are being
cinematographer.
recognized a little more than it was.
Not really. But I see it happening to my father, but yeah, I mean, so all kinds of artists, behind the camera, director, actors, all over the world.
So that would be it. It was lovely having you guys here. Keep watching DC Martini for more news on Beyond the Clouds and more awesome videos.